Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back. This is Daily Trading Analysis with a quick market update for today, Thursday, 29th of August. Well, today we got economic data, important economic data, and yesterday we also got NVDA earnings. So we are going to talk about everything and also perform technical analysis for today's price action because it's getting pretty interesting. So first, we are going to review the economic data in terms of GDP growth. The estimate for the quarter-over-quarter second estimate was 3%, coming from the 1.4. We were expecting 2.8, so actually higher than expected. Corporate profits plus 1.7, coming from a negative minus 2.7. And the price index is 2.5, a little bit higher than the 2.3, but lower than the is 2.5, lower than the 3.1. So I think this is checks in the right direction. At the same time, initial jobless claims and continued jobless claims came in line with expectations. So the labor market remains a place of concern, but right now we are kind of imbalance in those risks. So people is just investors, traders are basically focusing on economy strength. And I think the GDP growth estimate is pretty interesting. And also real consumer spending estimate 2.9%, coming from 1.5, and the estimate was 2.3. So actually pretty good, because consumer spending is good for growth and markets are looking for growth. So having said that, with this good economic data, NVIDIA earnings yesterday also topped expectations. Basically, revenue was plus 18% quarter over quarter, and year over year was basically 122. Now, it was topping estimates of 113, but I think when you are priced for perfection, some kind of weakness always arise, because you cannot always meet the expectations when those expectations are always pushing higher and higher and higher. The things that I like, gross profit is 2 points quarter over quarter, operating profit with 65 margin, net profit with 57 margin. I mean, this green is just signaling that demand is still there. It's not as huge as it was in the past, in the beginning, but NVIDIA, it's in the best spot possible, because Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, every business is going to demand more and more chips. So basically their data center business, it's ripping. So why we sold off yesterday? I think it remembers me to that time in which, you remember when the Apple intelligence was revealed and we sold off on the news, and after that Apple has ripped to the upside unbelievably high. And for me it's the same. This sell-off yesterday, I mean, this push was shorts being squeezed. And the best interesting thing about everything is that we've been one time framing to the upside, meaning that there's no pullbacks. We are going straight to hunt these guys that were placing their stops here after the initial sell-off. So we sold off, we consolidate, we sold off again, and people trade their stops right here. So what are we hunting? What are we trying to draw? The drawn liquidity, it's pretty damn clear up here. It's pretty damn clear. I was confident, but when you see profits after these kind of moves, you certainly have to take those profits. That's a good practice of me and my recommendation when you have big amounts of money and you are counter trending some kind of move. During the overnight, we were just straight up. And the safe bet was to basically stop here. So that was my target. The difficult part is where you are entering a market in which it's just going higher and higher. We have a gap. We are on the daily time frame. On the let me just show you. This is the daily. So I was just watching this zone right here for the breakout into the upside. We held the 30-minute fair value gap. We held the 1 hour. We were closing the gap down. So as soon as I saw that we were closing the gap down, I was ready to jump in the safest way possible. How was that? Using this push and this imbalance to basically have a pivot zone here and buy the pullback. This was a little bit higher than expected during the overnight. 19 points is quite a lot, $400, but the reward was risk reward ratio was 4. Risk reward ratio was 4, so it was really worth it for me to just try this trade. If it's just like this, I would just have a second opportunity, but this time around I just used this candle that tapped into the fair value gap. I was afraid of this fair value gap to not touching the consequent encroachment and being basically a breakaway fair value gap. It was super strong. It didn't touch the half of the fair value gap, and we were just grinding higher until the liquidity, buy side liquidity. Since then, we've been going higher, higher until we took the second liquidity, and we were just stopping at the 5-minute order block. Where is over the block here that I was signaling? 2 buy side liquidities taking 103, and then we started to consolidate, holding the 45. The open happened, and then the 1-minute chart went straight up to the second buy side liquidity, and I found this SMT, this smart money manipulation that basically the ES was trending down and the Nasdaq was the one pushing. Why? Because NVDA was trying to basically reclaim yesterday's after hours move, and it's still ranging. But look at the rest of the Nasdaq. Apple is 2.5%, Microsoft is 2.26%, Tesla 2.85%, Amazon 2%, Google 1.50%, Meta 1.81%. The Russell super strong, banks and the ES are all in the green, semiconductors are all in the green with ARM 6.54 and Micron with 3.20. So the only one that is weak is NVIDIA. And I mean, it's ranging in a huge range, but it's not selling off, not trying to go higher. So they are digesting the numbers, but the rest of the Nasdaq is really strong. And look at this. We were at 1 tick of that buy side liquidity. Let me tell you, how would you feel if you had your stops in this zone? How would you feel right now? I would be ultra scared. So I think this is going to happen sooner or later. They are going to grab all this liquidity up here, and then for me, the market will stop at that point, because the target for today is this liquidity. Once it happens, I just don't care. I will just wait for tomorrow, because they either can accumulate this for a short move into the first fair value gap that happened today and didn't get filled, or they can just continue higher and grind you higher until a big manipulation knife happens. So either option is just bad, and our best option, smart option, is to choose to leave to trade another day. If you are not already long, I wouldn't recommend going long for this, because look at this chop. The target, it's pretty clear, but they can do whatever to go to that target. So if you were long since the overnight, congratulations, that was huge money for today. We are 1.33, and since the open, we are basically, we open down here and we are almost 2% since that open. Looks like we are trying to move in this macro at noon, but let's see what happens. This is the target, but then we will have to really see what is the continuation move, because we have the point of control from the bottom really moving a little bit higher. We are accumulating volume and price action is up here. So once we tap this liquidity, what is going to be the move? Because there's a fair value gap in here, inverse bearish fair value gap. Are we going to reject and find the pullback? Or are we going to continue squeezing for the second area of volume, which is almost 19,900? There's this week that I have a Fibonacci right here waiting for that, but this is not going to happen today. So let's wait for today's close, and tomorrow we will just reassess what is happening. But right now, I really was waiting for this exactly moment in which NVDA was just holding and the rest of the Nasdaq was screaming. The RSP, it's pushing higher, a little bit of a tick down, but we are still trying to hold those all-time highs. So the market is strong. The Nasdaq is strong. NVIDIA is weak after yesterday, but I think that NVIDIA is going to do fine and it's going to continue higher tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, who knows? But I think this guy is not, because the numbers were good, demand is still there, and we are just going to squeeze some shorts. So that's all from my side. As always, thank you for your time. If you found this video useful, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, because I upload videos like this one every single day for market forecasts, market updates, and market recaps. I appreciate your time as always. Remember that the trading day is not over yet. I would recommend to wait for tomorrow to really see how we close the week. I think we are quite strong. We might see some pullbacks, but I think those pullbacks are going to be met by buy demand, deep buyers. And we are so close of hitting the target that maybe it's not worth continue trading. So if you were long, congratulations, because today was just a big trend date since the low of pre-market. So those bulls are making money. So remember, discipline, patience, risk management, those are your skills, the best skills to successfully trade this market. Stay safe, everyone, and see you tomorrow.